Advancing your personal brand. What's a personal brand? It's your image. It's the perception that you've created of yourself. It's a manifestation of your experiences, your competencies, your distinguishing features, your accomplishments, your values. Your brand, like any product brand, should be consistent and easy to recognize. A personal brand is the image you invoke in the minds of others. It's reflected in what people say about you. Personal branding is the work that you do to advance the brand. It's impression management. It's the activities that you use to influence perceptions of you. Personal branding is how you position yourself in your company, in your industry, in the world. The branding process enhances your credibility and distinguishes you from everyone else. It increases your circle of influence and allows you to have greater impact. Personal branding is the work that you do to evoke a positive image of yourself. One important element of branding is the messages that you convey about yourself. We're going to spend time thinking about how you craft your brand and how you launch your own personal branding campaign. My goal is to help you maximize your impression management so that you can fulfill your limitless potential. Let's get started. How do you begin creating your brand? Well, start by developing your unique, authentic message. This is a statement that encapsulates who you are. It's a tool for you, sort of a lighthouse that keeps you directed. It's a statement that keeps you focused on your true north. A great example of foundational brand messaging is, I'm a physician leader who delivers care with compassion, who guides the next generation of physicians in their growth by modeling the best practices in the delivery of care. I bring added value to healthcare by working in alignment with the strategic goals of the hospitals I affiliate with. I am a listening, learning leader who is flexible and adaptable to the rapid changes in the business of medicine. Notice, this message clearly defines the person's position. She's a physician leader, not just a physician. It links her core values with how she does what she does. She delivers care with compassion. She models the best practices for the next generation of physician leaders. The message identifies the defining features of this physician leader. She adds values to hospitals by working in alignment with their strategic goals. She goes deeper in distinguishing herself by stating that she's a doc who listens, who learns, who's flexible and adaptable to the rapid changes in her field. As you begin working on your message, make sure that it defines who you are, tells something about what you value, identifies your defining features, and distinguishes you from others in your field. The message encapsulates what you stand for. The message is the launch point. From there, you can move to brand building. How does that happen? It begins by identifying the behaviors that you exhibit that are consistent with your message. In other words, what you do that actually brings that message to life. Make a list of behaviors, actions, activities that you regularly do that support, reinforce, or illuminate the things that you stated in your message. Identify clear strategies to do more of the things that support your brand. This means identifying your own best practices and then working the heck out of them. Use your past successes as indicators of behaviors that build your brand. Reflect on those successes, dissect them, identify actions that you want to repeat in your branding. The next step is to make a list of the things you do that contradict your message. This is the litmus test of the authenticity of your message. It requires a lot of self-awareness to identify misalignments between what you say and what you do. Once you've identified where your behavior aligns and where it doesn't, you're able to craft a clear plan to direct what you do with your messaging. For instance, if I say I'm a respected authority on leadership development, but don't make time to stay abreast of learning about the challenges leaders face today, how can I possibly be a respected authority? Think seriously about the behaviors, the activities, the competencies, the skills. Those are your habits. They form your habits. Make sure that they clearly reflect the brand image that you're working to convey. If you think that you're doing things that are out of sync with how you want to portray yourself, create a corrective action plan. The message is the start of how we create our brand. The next step is to build a bio. A crisp, clear bio is important. It's a tool you can use when you're asked to present at industry events. You can use it on social media. You can use it when you launch your podcast series. It's important to have a bio that's current and ready to use at a moment's notice. The bio, like the message, should state who you are and what you do. Keep it short. If you know that you don't like to write or you don't write well, have someone else craft it for you. It's another important tool in your toolbox. After you have a well-defined, clearly articulated brand, you've got to assess the look, the sound, the smell of the brand. Let's begin with the look. If you're in an artistic environment, cultivate an artistic, fun wardrobe. That doesn't mean completely disheveled. I think of it more as artsy and contemporary. If you work in a casual environment, a digital design firm, an innovative software developing company, find a casual look that still shows that you care about your appearance. Casual is not a synonym for sloppy. If you're in a more traditional, conservative environment, take a trip to Brooks Brothers, to Talbot's, to Ann Taylor, to Nordstrom's, or another fine retailer. Study the mannequins. Decide which look will advance your brand. Think head to toe about your look, no matter what field you're in. Worn out shoes, socks with visible holes, frayed hems, they don't do much to advance a brand in a conservative environment. I want to move to the sound of your brand. It goes without saying that you want to steer clear of foul, vulgar language. I am a cusser, and I have had to teach myself to control that behavior. You don't want to be known for your potty mouth. You want to be known as someone who has good command of the language, as someone who can clearly communicate a thought, as someone who can compel people to action with a message. I'm a big believer in Toastmasters. That supportive community can help you rethink and refine how you communicate. If you have to make presentations, take a presentation skills course at a local community college. If you interact with the media, there are lots and lots of media relations courses. Invest in polishing your communication skills. Don't think that your current competencies are sufficient. Refine them constantly. Written communication has to be sound. It's an important method of getting a point across. The onslaught of texting has negatively impacted writing skills. I can't tell you how many complaints I hear from clients at the executive level about overly casual emails that they get from employees. Acronyms and symbols that you use in text aren't suitable in business communication. Leave LOL and IDK for communication with your friends and family. Now, if you're in a very casual workplace, that may be acceptable, but you have to be discerning enough to know when it is and when it isn't. If you're in doubt, don't be casual. Opt for standard business communication. As we think about business communication, I find that many people have below average writing skills. I see it in reports that are submitted. I see it in posts on social media. I see it in emails. Take a refresher writing course. It will help you build a stronger brand if you build your communication skills. All of your communication should reinforce your brand. It should clearly convey everything that you spelled out in your message and everything you stated in your bio. I'm going to quickly go over the smell of your brand. Much of what I say is common sense, but we know that common sense is the most uncommon thing. Too much perfume, too much cologne, they're turnoffs. They also can make me nauseous. A little dab will do. I know that marijuana is legal in many states. I have on occasion been in business environments where people smell like they've just smoked a blunt. It may be legal, but it isn't wise to smell like a pothead, even in the most laid-back liberal setting. And those glassy eyes looking out at you don't really do much to advance a brand. One last thing on the brand smell. Don't neglect hygiene. I know that sounds like something that doesn't need to be said, but we've all encountered at least one person who needed hygiene help. The look, the sound, the smell, those things create the feel of your brand. It's not tangible, but it's subtle. It's an impression that you're leaving with everyone you encounter. Let's move to the importance of promoting your brand. Obviously, you advance your brand by doing excellent work in your current position. Producing exemplary deliverables is essential in advancing your brand, but it's not enough. The next step is publicizing and promoting your unique brand. This is the act of branding. It's the work that you actively engage in to advance. I'm not talking about taking out ads in trade publications or posting your every move on Instagram. Publishing and promoting your brand begins with delivering quality in your current position. There are other ways that you move your brand into the forefront. I'm going to highlight 4 of them. 1, become involved in your professional or trade association. Volunteer to serve on committees. Volunteer to serve on task force. Select areas that interest you the most. This will enable you to shine. As you get your footing in the organization, move into uncharted territory. Serve on committees that allow you to stretch and to grow. There's a mistaken notion that you have to ascend to leadership roles to have a recognized brand. That's just not true. Show yourself to be a respected, strong contributor, and you're going to advance your brand. 2, I want you to think about social media. This is something we've started taking for granted in the digital age. Social media can be a powerful brand building tool. It can also have disastrous consequences if not used with savvy. Keep your personal social media separate from your business. If business contacts aren't your real true friends, don't include them in your social media that's personal. Even with that caution, be judicious about what you post, personally and professionally. The fundamentals of brand building on social media include having a professional headshot. Don't use a selfie that you took at your desk. Invest in a professional photo. Just a little airbrushing won't hurt either. Not so much that it makes you look fake, but just enough to enhance your natural features. Make sure that your bio is on your social media page. You don't have to write a book. Write what you want known about yourself to be clear and focused. Make it articulate the brand. When you're posting on social media, less is more. Fewer posts of more powerful articles or topics will keep you top of mind. Daily posts on everything you do make people turn you off. They won't follow you anymore. Post with power by understanding that less is more. The next thing to remember is that it's not all about you on social media. You should share interesting, informative, meaningful posts by others. This calls attention to your colleagues' work, to their contributions, to their insights. It also shows that you're interested in sharing relevant content, not just your own thoughts and information and ideas. Third, use service to others to advance your brand. What can you do to get beyond what you want and what you need to be in service in the larger world? This is my bias, I admit it. I think one of the best ways to move a brand along is to be seen as a person who contributes to causes, to efforts, to initiatives that they really and truly care about. You don't have to be out in front of every march or activity. You just need to find service opportunities that are consistent with your values. You have to serve earnestly, not as a means of advancing your career. That sounds like a contradiction. Serve, but don't be self-serving. Remember, you can serve without being noticed by the masses. Just like in your professional association, you don't have to be in front on everything. You can be invisible, but invaluable. Serving quietly, passionately, ardently, and with commitment establishes you as a strong contributor. That's more valuable than always being the loud braggart showman or the showwoman. Fourth, invent. Yeah, I said invent. Invent new approaches to your work. Invent innovations that can move your industry along. Invent responses to current dilemmas. One way to put your brand forward is by creatively solving problems with sensible, applicable approaches. It may be something as simple as your take on customer relationship management. You may be using a strategy that no one else has ever considered. Put your approach on a blog. Write an article or a white paper about it. Contribute usable knowledge for your company or for your industry. Inventiveness shows that you're able to contribute solutions. Any idiot can spot a problem, but few of us can channel our energy to creating solutions. Position yourself as someone who generates solutions. This doesn't mean be a know-it-all. It means become a respected contributor. It's time for us to wrap up. Brand and branding are all about conveying purpose, credibility, confidence, and our values in an authentic way. It's how we build and advance our reputations. It's how we put ourselves out in the world. Nuances of our brand are impacted by how we look, how we sound, how we write. All of these elements create the feel of our brand. Your work at creating a brand begins with your development of a foundational message. You then move to crafting a concise bio for use in various mediums. After you do that, you can start building the brand. Assess areas where your behavior aligns and where it doesn't. Recalibrate everything that you're doing to make sure that it aligns with your brand's promise. Having created a clear, compelling brand, you can then move into the act of branding, of putting yourself forward in the world. I think of this as subtle, purposeful advertising and marketing. Move your brand forward by doing a great job where you are. Grow where you're planted. Join and be a contributing member in your professional or trade association. Invent something. Publish your inventions in articles, on social media, and in any other forum where it'll be noticed by influencers and by decision makers. Serve others. Look for organizations that have a mission you support and help advance that cause. You are the brand. Embrace that idea and work hard to refine your message. Your brand is your most powerful strategic positioning tool. Move your career, move your life by advancing brand you.